You know, there's one thing that's more important than how good of a rider you are, and that's how you act on the trail. My name's Mark, and I've been riding and racing mountain bikes for over 25 years, and I've seen it all. I've seen confrontations, sketchy crashes, trails getting ruined. So here's everything you should know about basic trail etiquette so we can all have fun, be safe, and enjoy the trails together. All right, so some basic yielding rules when you're on the trail. If you see a hiker, slow down, stop, let them pass. Hikers have the right of way, especially same with horses. If you see a horse, stop. Even better yet, get off the bike. You do not want to spook a horse. They get spooked very easy, and the horse rider will get very pissed at you if you spook their horse, and it can also be pretty dangerous. So yeah, just yield to hikers and horses. Also, uphill riders have the right of way. So if someone's coming up the trail and you're coming down, slow down, stop, let them pass. It's the proper etiquette to follow on the trail. All right, now a quick one on passing. Don't pass silently. Always announce yourself coming up to the rider in front of you. If you're gonna pass, say, "Can I pass? Can I pass?" And then if they say yes and you're going to, say, "Passing on your left." Generally, that's what you say, passing on your left. Don't be that guy that just, you think you're fast, you're hauling ass down the trail and you just blow right past another rider or cut off the side of the trail to get around them. It's dangerous. It can spook the rider, kind of freak them out and get them pissed off. It's just not the polite thing to do. So always announce yourself coming up to other riders. All right, now let's cover dangerous behavior. There's a few things. The first big one, and that's no stopping on takeoffs or landings. This is a big no-no, especially at busy trails or bike parks. Maybe you haven't ridden the trail before and you're coming up to a jump and you want to check it out. That's fine and all, but pull off to the side of the trail and be out of the way of other riders. This can be very dangerous, especially if you're like on the landing and riders coming up fast can't see you and they hit the jump and crash into you. Or you cause a rider to have to skid out, slam their brakes on to avoid you. It's really not cool and it can be very dangerous on the trails. Now, another thing that I've been seeing a lot lately on like Friday fails and some internet mountain biking videos, and that's, you're a good rider, you're hauling, down a jump line and you want to hit all the jumps and there's a slower rider in front of you and you're still going to hit the big jump. That's really dangerous to do, and I've seen some bad crashes online from that because you don't know what the rider in front of you is going to do. They might stop on the jump, they might slow down, they might roll it. So I've seen videos of a rider just flying, doing the paw run. There's a slower rider and they end up landing on them or landing front tire first on their back wheel. I've seen the front wheel land on someone's back. I've seen some really bad crashes doing this. So this is really not cool to do. If there's someone slower in front of you, you're just gonna have to slow down. Like if it ruins your run, oh well, sorry, but it's just not worth risking someone or yourself getting very hurt doing this. I mean, I've seen a crash where someone got their neck ran over and then the rider who did it's like, "Oh, sorry." Like, bro, it's too late to be saying sorry now. You just did something way not cool and you could have seriously hurt someone. I mean, that is a big no-no in my book. And another thing, and that's just reckless riding, just riding too fast, out of control, on the edge. When you're doing that around other riders, it's really not cool and it can be very dangerous. All right, now another thing, and that's no skidding on trails. I know sometimes it can be really hard and you're not purposely trying to skid, your wheels just lock up, maybe on a really steep trail, but you really want to try to avoid it. Also with corners, don't be just like skidding around the corner. You're not Sam Pilgrim, and even he knows when to be in control and be cool about it on public trails. So yeah, just ride in control, don't skid up the trails and mess them all up for everyone else. All right, now a couple things on respecting the trails. One, I mean, it's summer right now, so maybe it's not that big of an issue, but you really don't want to ride really wet and muddy trails. When a trail's extremely muddy and you're riding through it, pedaling, bogging down, you're leaving big old ruts in the trail that when it dries up, it's still going to be there. And someone's going to have to come and fix it and patch it up. So yeah, don't be riding really, really muddy trails. I mean, the only time I would say this is like allowed, and that's if you're doing a race. and it's like a designated race course. It happened to be raining and it's really muddy and the race is going on anyways. Or maybe a bike park, you know, it's opened and it's been raining and they're still allowing you to ride the trails. That's another time I suppose it's acceptable. But yeah, don't be riding really muddy trails because it really damages them and it messes up for everyone else, and it also gives riders a bad name. So, and another thing that's really big to me, and that's leave no trace. You know, if you pack it in, pack it out. Don't be leaving all kinds of trash on the trails. Don't drop your little goo wrappers on the trail. Don't leave water bottles. Don't leave your little snack wrappers. Like, that's not cool. If you're able to pack the trash in, pack it back out. You want to leave the trails just as nice, if not nicer, than when you came. You know, if anything, you should be picking up extra trash on every ride. Just try to make the trails a nice place for us all to enjoy. All right, now another thing I want to cover, and I feel like some people might disagree with me on this, but that's music on the trails. If you have like a big old speaker, you know, hanging off your backpack and you're blasting Linkin Park, Slipknot, whatever, I mean, not everybody on the trails wants to hear your music. Save it for the parking lot, you know, like some people are out there just to enjoy nature. Like right now it's so quiet, all the birds out here. You know, someone coming by blasting music kind of kills the vibe for everybody. So just because you want to hear music when you're going down the trail doesn't mean everybody else does. Now, another thing, and this is the one where I think people might maybe disagree with me, but I really think it's a safety thing, also depending where you're riding at, and that's headphones on the trails. I remember this was like a few years back. I was at Snow Summit Bike Park in Big Bear, California, and these two riders got into a really heated confrontation because I guess one person was stopped, what we just talked about, don't be stopping on takeoffs, but some rider was stopped on the trail or on a jump, I'm not sure exactly which, and a rider behind him was coming up telling him to move, rider behind you, and he had headphones in and he couldn't hear it. So I overheard the conversation. He's like, well, I couldn't hear you because I had headphones in. And the other rider's like, what the are you doing wearing headphones at a bike park when you need to be able to hear other riders coming up behind you? So yeah, I know some people wear headphones. You know, it's kind of one of those iffy things. I know some people might not agree, but I think it's kind of a safety issue. If you know, you want to be able to hear what's going on around you. If somebody's coming up behind you, whatever, and if you have headphones blasting in, you know, you're not going to be able to hear someone coming up behind you try and pass. So in my opinion, you really want to leave the headphones at home, you know, or maybe if you're out in the middle of nowhere, no one's around you, but then there's other reasons why you want to be able to hear what's going on around you. But yeah, I think headphones on the trails are kind of a no-no. Same thing with big old blasting speakers. Some might disagree with me on this, but I think it comes down to safety. All right, well, just to quickly wrap up this video, it's not about rules, it's really more about respect for other riders and the trails. So leave a comment, let me know, maybe I missed something, maybe there's something you think I should have added to it, or maybe you don't agree with me on one of the topics. But yeah, leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more weekly MTB how-to videos. Peace.